What's up, you all? We are live. What's up, you all? We are live. Let y'all come on. Oh, shoot, I'm late. Goodness. I'm late. I'm late. I'm gonna let y'all come on. What's up, Kareem and Brittany? What's up, Mika? I mean, I just have a simple thought process. If people are trying to appeal to you with decadence, then that means they see you as decadent. That it's just like for a young lady, if guys are always trying to, talk to you and just sleep with you, that's what they're seeing you as, someone they can easily sleep with. If a woman is trying to talk to you and she's talking about your money, she wants money, that's how she sees you, as a trick. I just think that the black community has to be honest. The reason why all these people preach and promote death, destruction, and damnation and decadence onto the black community is because that's what black people want. We got to be honest. What's up, baptized? We got to be honest. Like, and I don't think we're honest. I'm gonna play this video of Saucy Santana and Trina trying to urge people to vote. Now, keep in mind, 2 years ago, they told the strippers to tell you all to vote. Remember that? The strippers told you all to vote. And I just think that they don't think very highly of you. That's all. I mean, they just don't, you know. They don't think very highly of you. Thank you, Ice Cold Wolf. Yes, hit the like button, you all, and share. Thanks for the badges, you all. But I don't know if you all remember, but a few years ago, Barack Obama, well, Biden was vice president, but Barack Obama made the White House a rainbow. And that should have been an indicator then that the president of the United States made the White House a rainbow. The president, Barack Obama, who you all heralded as Black Jesus, never made the White House black, meaning he didn't put any symbolism on the White House to indicate that it was for Black people, but he did it for the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z community. He didn't do it for the Hispanics. He didn't do it for the Asians. He did it specifically for the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z community. Now, somebody said, I'm tired of this video and this song. This is my issue with the Black community. The Black community doesn't cancel things that are detrimental to their community. So in other words, these two artists, Saucy and Trina, should be canceled. Not just I'm tired of the video. They should be canceled. When Joe Biden sat down with Cardi B, he should be canceled and Cardi B should be canceled. When Maxine Waters sits down with Meg Thee Stallion, she should be canceled and Meg should be canceled. When Kamala Harris sits down with Lil Baby, she should be canceled and he should be canceled. The problem is Black people really only care about canceling Black conservatives and quote unquote conservative whites. Everybody else gets a pass in the Black community. The only problem is the most flagrant and egregious people don't exist with Black conservatives and white conservatives. Those are the most egregious and flagrant people. Because the Black conservatives and white conservatives aren't trying to put the Transformers in front of your children with the sausage and hot links hanging out for the little kids to see. So what I'm telling you all is you all have a cultural lack of character and integrity. Black people refuse to cancel the decadence. Now listen, Black people have no problem calling me sellout, bootlicker, coon, all this stuff. But they would never call Kamala Harris that. And Kamala Harris ain't even Black. She really wearing modern day blackface. They would never call these rappers that's promoting death, destruction, damnation in our community. Like Black people never cancel the decadence of the community. So I'm inclined to believe that this is what Black people want. Because there's no way that Black folks don't want this stuff and it's constantly fed to Black people. It's impossible. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Somebody said that Blacks are controlled by the white media. I would agree. So let me play this video first on YouTube, and then I will play it on Instagram, hopefully, if it's not too long. But I want you all to listen to the lyrics. I want you all to listen to the lyrics and what they think of the Black voter. The same Black voter they say is oppressed, the same Black voter that they say is oppressed and can't vote, look how they appeal to them.
It's voting season, bruh. No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. BLK app looking for some action. Trying to homie stop what's happening. Face is a 9, abs a 10, D is a to be determined. He got mad jokes, he don't seem broke. The only red flag is that he don't vote. This midterms for all the single Q. Wanna hit this booty, gotta do your civic duty. No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking.
Yeah, don't stop now. Stop my ballot box again, but my homegirl through. Put the buy in partisan. Politics be so nasty. Make me wanna flirt ya. Show you how to be a poll worker. Legs in the air, I don't care. Anyone could get it. Universal health care. If you wanna come before the deadline. Come in the jacuzzi, gerrymander this coochie.
No voting, no love, no voting, no touch, no voting, no nothing. Can't let me down, gotta stand up for something. No voting, no love, no voting, no touch, no voting, no nothing. BLK, we gon' stand up for something. Yeah, that's right. No.
Now I'm gonna see if I can play it on YouTube. Instagram. Let me see if I can play it on Instagram. Hopefully it's not long enough. Long enough, too long. Pause. Let me see.
It's voting season, bruh. No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. BLK app looking for some action. Why the homie stop what's happening? Face is a 9, abs a 10, D is a to be determined. He got mad jokes, he don't seem broke. The only red flag is that he don't vote. This midterms for all the single Q. Wanna hit this booty, gotta do a single Q. No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking.
Yeah, don't stop now. Stop my ballot box again, but my homegirl through. Put the buy in partisan. Politics be so nasty.
What's up, Grace?
Show you how to be a poll worker. Legs in the air, I don't care. Anyone could get it. Universal health care. If you wanna come before the deadline. Come in the jacuzzi, gerrymander this coochie.
No voting, no love, no voting, no touch, no voting, no nothing. Can't let me down, gotta stand up for something. No voting, no love, no voting, no touch, no voting, no nothing. BLK, we gon' stand up for something.
Now, now, so here goes the major issue with, again, the black community. The black community doesn't reject these things. That means nobody's brave enough to go on CNN or Fox and say this is deplorable, this is disgusting. Nobody black that is a who's who will get on a mainstream media platform and say this is disgusting and it has to stop. They won't do it. So what I'm telling you all is the reason why this stuff is pushed on the black community is because it's what the black community want. If I had if I rode around town in the neighborhoods and I was releasing rats, folks would come out their house and try to stop me. If I was releasing rats and rodents into the neighborhood, people would call the police on me. Folks would shoot at me. Folks would try to beat me up. Folks would try to kill me. Folks would try to stop the man that was releasing rats in the neighborhood. I would be attacked. I would be harmed and everything. So black people have shown when they don't like something, they'll react. Black people show every day when they don't like something. And listen, I don't want you in my neighborhood. I'm going to shoot you. Black folks exercise what they don't like all the time. But when it comes to the decadence, they don't, which lets me believe that this is what they want. So when Obama was pushing all this LGBTQ stuff, when he was going to the churches, pushing it, telling them to change the Bible and make the gay thing good, and when he was going to Africa saying, if y'all don't go get along with the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z movement, that I'm going to sanction these countries. When Obama did all that, black folks were silent. Black folks didn't say nothing. Talked to somebody yesterday. He said, I know Obama did all this bad stuff, but he was such a statesman. He spoke so well. He was so eloquent. I mean, that guy was a real politician. I said, look how much reverence you give Obama, even after he told you all to drink the dirty water in Flint. This is the problem with black people, and nobody wants to say it. Black people lack cultural integrity, cultural character, cultural morals. There's no way in the world you can have this commercial and appeal to the Jewish community. There's no way you can have this commercial and appeal to the Hispanic community or the Asian community. This only works on black people. You couldn't even do this to the rednecks and the hillbillies and the trailer parkers. This kind of propaganda only works on black people because this is what black people want. This is why I keep telling you all, to be black is to be controlled. But that's not the point of this video. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to let you all know it's over. Dear black community, it's over. You have been taken over completely by the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z community. 2 years ago, they told you to go to the strip club and vote. Now they got a transformer and Trina telling you to vote. What's next? The same people that bought you vax that thing up, as the real ISO said, the same people that brought you vax that thing up are the same people that bought you no voting, no vucking with a V. Now, I know many of you all are probably upset and saying, Blanche, it's not all of us. Blanche, we don't support this. Blanche, we ain't with this. I have not seen one protest behind this video. I didn't see one protest behind the abortion video. Think about it. Think about it. WAP, that song WAP, is going to go down as the single worst song for black people in history. You know why? Because WAP was a song created by Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion that literally opened the floodgates to debauchery. It's funny that the women were saying that Trump was a sexist, male chauvinist, and he looked down on women. But as soon as they won, they was in front of the White House singing WAP. The same women that said Trump was wrong for saying that women would let him grab them by the vagina. He never said he did. He said that women would let him do it. They took that and was singing WAP in front of to the president. So that let me know that this wasn't about women's rights or equality, none of that stuff. This was about ego and narcissism. And so now we fast forward all these years later, and now you all have allowed the black community and black culture to be taken over by the LGBTQP, don't forget XYZ community. And I can promise you all one thing: the LGBTQP, don't forget XYZ community, is going to be worse on black people than any other group in the history of the world. They're going to be the most oppressive group that you have ever seen. You all are going to be begging for racist white people. You all are going to be filling out applications to join the Klan. The LGBTQP, don't forget XYZ community, is going to terrorize the black community because their slogan is get down or lay down. They don't negotiate with you. It's their way or it's the Hershey Highway. They don't play at all. So when black folks are crying and complaining, they're not going to listen to you. You see, right now, white folks will listen to you. White folks will fight for you, not this community. The trans already stated they're the new woman. So they're getting rid of the women. They're getting rid of the women. And the other people in the group don't like men. Well, they want to get men in compromising positions. So what I'm telling you is that in order to play ball in the future, in the black community and in black culture, you're going to have to acquiesce to the LGBTQP, don't forget XYZ agenda. But let's continue. And I want to give you an example of what you got to deal with when you're dealing with the LGBTQ community in the future. Black people, my kings and queens.
Hi, Gay. That's Mr. Gator, you. Thank you very much. Hi, Gay. Rinse, leather, and repeat. Hi, Gay. Today's leather forecast. Hot with a chance of pain. Hi, Gay. Oh, my God. I'm gagging.
Yo.
Gay. That's Mr. Gator, you.
Yo.
Thank you very much.
Yo.
Hi, Gay. Rinse, leather, and repeat. Hi, Gay. Today's leather forecast. Hot with a chance of pain. Hi, Gay. Oh, my God. I'm gagging.
Hold on.
Gay. That's Mr. Gator,
Hold on.
you. Thank you very much.
I gotta play it one more time. I gotta play it one more time on YouTube. Hold on, YouTube. I want y'all to see this too. Give y'all a taste of what they got to offer the black community.
Hi, Gay. Hi, Gay. That's Mr. Gator, you. Thank you very much. Hi, Gay. Rinse, leather, and repeat. Hi, Gay. Today's leather forecast. Hot with a chance of pain. Hi, Gay. Oh, my God. I'm gagging. Hi, Gay. That's Mr. Gator, you. Thank you very much. Hi, Gay. Rinse, leather, and repeat. Hi, Gay. Today's leather forecast. Hot with a chance of pain. Hi, Gay. Oh, my God. I'm gagging.
So, so what I'm saying is this. I'm saying that you all been blaming white people this entire time. White people racist, white people wrong. And guess who slid in the back door, pause, on the black community? It was the LGBTQP, don't forget XYZ community. You all focused on white people so much that you left the back door open and now they about to rush in. Pause. Now, let me see if I can find this other video of. Oh, I wanted to find that video of the Oh, I found it. So you all, this is a video of Virgin Airlines um, showing their whole push for trans. Virgin Atlantic. And what you all got to understand is the LGBTQP, don't forget XYZ community, is not coming to negotiate. They're not coming for equality. They're coming for takeover. That means they're going to take over. They're not going to play with you all. They're not going to acquiesce. They're not going to make deals. None of that. You either get down or you lay down.
Hi, gay.
And so what you all got to understand is they got you all looking at something else, and this community is going to take you all over. And that means when Joe Biden came out and said that transgender rights were the new civil rights, he's letting you know right there, it's not about black people anymore. Now, black folks are going to, when black folks realize what's going on, they're going to kick, scream, and fuss, but they won't do anything. That means they won't protest. They won't go on social media. They'll be silent. Like I've been saying, black culture has made black people cowards. And I've been saying it. And you're going to see it when it comes to the Alphabet Mafia, because the Alphabet Mafia is not going to play any games. They're going to cancel. They're going to make you lose your job. They're going to show up at your job. They're going to surround your house. They don't play. I give the LGBTQP, don't forget XYZ community credit. I give them credit because they decided to have a movement that involved tangibles, meaning they wanted power. They wanted influence. They wanted social, political, and economic leverage. That's what they wanted. They wanted social, political, and economic leverage. That is what the LGBTQP, don't forget XYZ community wanted. That is what they wanted, and they got it. Social, political, and economic leverage. Those are three things that black people didn't want. Black people were too busy trying to prove something to white people, and it cost them everything. So I don't blame the LGBTQ community for what they're doing. I blame black people for the strategy they imposed, because the strategy they imposed was given to them by black boule members who were literally ran by Jews and liberal whites. These black folks knew what was going on, but they still sold the people out in hopes if we bend over, no pun intended, if we bend over, then we'll get something out of the deal. You got nothing out of the deal, not even a thank you. You just got drilled and they left. No money on the dresser. You got drilled, they got up and left. But they have no one to blame but themselves. There's no one to blame but themselves. And I've been telling you all this time that to be black is to be controlled. So if you think about it, if they tie your blackness, hear me out, if they tie your blackness to these agendas, then that means in order to be black, you'll have to be a part of these agendas. That's going to be climate change. That's going to be the trans movement, LGBTQ movement. That's the Democratic Party. That is every agenda that's detrimental. They're going to tie your blackness to it. It's no different than them telling you that you got to get this snake bite because you got to save Big Mama and them. They just tie everything that's decadent and evil and wicked to your blackness. And because you all want to be black still, you all have to do it. Now let's look at Mayor Beetlefoot Light Juice. Now, folks in Chicago getting smoked. And let's see how she responds to the chaos in Chicago, all the crime and violence going on, poverty, crime, everything going on in Chicago. Let's see how Mayor Beetlefoot Light Juice is doing.
Yeah, all we need is us. Let me whisper in your ear. Come on, dance with me. In love with me, ain't no girl. If you wanna run away with me, I know a galaxy and I can take you for a ride. Got a good thing. Don't know if I'ma see you again. 를 맞춰 사람 위에 사람 먹고 살아. 나이를 넘어 별을 넘어. How you doing?
So we see how Mayor Beetlefoot Light Juice is. She's trying to get you all by letting you know that she likes music. No policies, no nothing, just she likes music and she gonna dance to the music. And there's a bunch of black folks at home, oh, she's so funny, she's so nice. Meanwhile, everything around them is on fire. I don't listen. At this stage in the game, 2022, it's black people's fault. In 2022, it's black people's fault because these folks have been very clear with their agendas. They've been very clear with their destructions. Now it's on black people. So I don't have to blame white people, no white liberals, Joe Biden. This is on black people. Again, the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z movement started back in 1969 with Stonewall in New York. Stonewall was a bar / club / hotel where all the gay people went. And then there was the people that were in like high positions in the city of New York. They went there as well to party and have fun. Well, the problem is the building, the bar, the building, the club, the hotel was owned by the mafia. So there was drugs being sold there. There was prostitution. There was all kind of legal stuff happening in that building. So what happens is the police decide to raid the building. When they raid the building, there's a bunch of people in there that are part of the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z community, and they don't want to get arrested. They don't want to give their IDs up. So imagine gay people claiming to be so oppressed, but in 1969, they told the police no. They told the police, we're not giving you our IDs and we're not going to jail. So I'm just telling you all, when they give you all history, they'll never tell you the truth. The gay people in that place said, we're not giving you our ID and we're not going to jail. That's how empowered they felt. Now, they didn't want to do it because they were prominent people in the city with high positions. So what happened is, obviously, the police were like, well, you going to jail. And so because they got arrested for being in a place that was known for drugs and prostitutions and God knows what else, the next day, 1,000 or more so people from that community showed up, and that was the start of the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z movement. I'm giving you all the real history behind it. That's the real history. But I also want to say that, again, Black people could have learned a lot from the LGBTQ PWXYZ community, because Black folks had a fight that was emotional. The gays and the trans aren't emotional. They put on a show in the streets in public, and then get into the school board, and then get into the Senate and the White House, and then get into the corporations. You see what I'm saying? They get into the HO, the home, you know what I'm saying, the HOAs. They get into all these positions where they can have leverage. And so what happens is you are distracted by the trans in the school, but meanwhile, they're all behind the scenes taking over. And then one day you all are going to look up and they're going to tell you, if you want to have any kind of voice, you better get down or lay down. And many of you all are going to want to do it because you're going to want to hold on to being Black, even though the Black has turned into a rainbow.
How you doing? My name is Joel Patrick. Today, I got another message from another liberal who said I like to be white. They said, you want to be white so bad. It's disgusting. I'd like to clarify a few things. First of all, I don't want to be white. I'm very happy with the skin color that God gave me. But second of all, aren't white people the ones you say control all the aspects of society, have a great credit score, and have their dad? Please tell me how and when those are bad things. If being white means that I have privilege, why wouldn't I want privilege? See, you need to make up your mind. Either being white is a bad thing or being white is a good thing, but you can't have it both ways. I don't want to be white, but I would like to be perceived as intelligent. And if using Ebonics and talking like you ain't got no education, get this right here Black, and I don't want to be Black. I would much rather be judged for the content of my character than the color of my skin. How you doing? My name is Joel Patrick. Today, I got another message from another liberal who said I like to be white. They said, you won't.
I'm going to play it on YouTube real quick.
My name is Joel Patrick. Today, I got another message from another liberal who said I like to be white. They said, you want to be white so bad. It's disgusting. I'd like to clarify a few things. First of all, I don't want to be white. I'm very happy with the skin color that God gave me. But second of all, aren't white people the ones you say control all the aspects of society, have a great credit score, and have their dad? Please tell me how and when those are bad things. If being white means that I have privilege, why wouldn't I want privilege? See, you need to make up your mind. Either being white is a bad thing or being white is a good thing, but you can't have it both ways. I don't want to be white, but I would like to be perceived as intelligent. And if using Ebonics and talking like you ain't got no education, get this right here Black, and I don't want to be Black. I would much rather be judged for the content of my character than the color of my skin.
Why are you?
So basically what he's talking about is, this is why to be Black is to be controlled. Because you notice when someone says you have to be Black, it's decadence. No one says you need to be Black and they have a scientist in mind. Nobody says you need to be Black and they have a doctor in mind, or a lawyer in mind, or a CEO in mind. When they say you have to be Black, they have decadence and foolishness in mind. When people say that you aren't Black, what they're saying is you aren't a part of the debauchery. Anytime someone says they want you to be Black, it's not a positive thing. Anytime someone says you're selling out, what they're saying is you don't want to be a part of this decadence that we love and enjoy. This is why they say you can act Black. Notice that acting white isn't a bad thing. When they say you're acting white, what is really acting white? Acting white is what? Speaking well, being well read, being well versed. What is acting white? We know what acting Black is. Acting Black is Meg the Stallion. Acting Black is Lil Baby. See, you don't question those people because that's what you want. This is the cultural lack of integrity in the Black community. That's what you want. You like the image. It's why the rappers want to be the athletes, and the athletes want to be the rappers. So they start hanging together because that's the image of black. So they say you're down for the people if you speak a certain way, if you look a certain way, you got tattoos, you wear your clothes, like all that is foolishness and decadence. But let's dive into what BLM said about what they wanted for the black community. Because this might help us understand, excuse me, how the black community was taken over by the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z community. And notice that the Black Lives Matter is a pro-trans organization. I'll say it again. Black Lives Matter is a pro-trans organization. It's pro-trans. What does pro-trans mean, Blanche? They got good transmissions? No. Pro-trans means that when it comes to who controls the black community and eventually who controls America, they want the men that say they're women to do it and the women that say they're men to do it. To be black is to be controlled. And we know how oppressive the movement and community is going to be because BLM said they were communists. So if BLM are communists and they're pro-trans, then you can imagine what the real agenda is. The real agenda is to rule America through an iron fist. So that means they're not going to play nice. That means that all of the social, political, and economic leverage is going to go to the trans and gay community and bi and all that other stuff. But let's get started. Let's get started. We are self-reflexive and do the work required to dismantle cisgender privilege. That is heterosexual men and women's privilege, and uplift black trans folks. Notice they said dismantle cisgender privilege. That means dismantle straight people's privilege and then uplift trans folks. So that means they're going to be above you. Listen to the language. Especially black trans women who continue to disproportionately impact, especially black trans women who continue to be disproportionately impacted by trans antagonistic violence. If we look up right now how many trans people die a year, you're going to be shocked. Now, the funny thing is, they'll tell you that if a trans person is killed, it's because they're trans. They'll tell you that when the police officer shoots someone that's black, it's because they're black. But when the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of black people are shot, black children are shot, black women are shot, black babies aborted, they don't say it's about their race. So it's a convenient narrative. They want you to believe that trans people don't lie, don't steal, don't kill, don't rob. They want you to believe that the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z community, doesn't do anything wrong. This is why they don't do any negative press, because subconsciously you think that the LGBTQs are always in the right. This is propaganda manipulation. Again, they're going to have all the social leverage because you're going to look back on history and see they haven't done anything wrong. Even though if you go on the internet, Google, trans people do all kind of stuff. I will tell you this right now. Gay people and trans people lie, cheat, and steal just like everybody else. There's no difference because human beings are human beings. It doesn't matter what they identify as. Human beings are human beings. But the problem is there's no emphasis on the LGBTQs to have character because everything is about their what? Identity or sexual orientation. But let's continue. How many trans die a year? How many trans killed a year? So far, this one right here says fatal violence against transgender and non-gender conforming people in 2022. So far this year has been 31 people fatally shot or killed by other violent means. But they're making you believe that it's because they're trans. You don't have any context, nothing. They're just making you believe because they're trans, they're getting killed. So in other words, trans people are off limits against violence, no matter what they do. Again, this is going to give them all of the social leverage. So that means they'll be able to attack you. And when you defend yourself, you're going to jail. In 2021, the Human Rights Campaign tracked record number of violent, fatal incidents against transgenders and non-conforming people with 50 fatalities tracked. So in 2021, they said it was 50 people that were killed, trans and gender non-conforming. So that's not even all trans. So again, they want to change everything because about 20-something trans people are getting killed a year. But meanwhile, 10,000 black folks are getting killed every year and they ain't saying nothing. So clearly you see there's a big difference between trans and black. They're going to take over the black community and they're going to rule with an iron fist or something worse, an iron dildo. Let me go back to BLM though, so y'all can get a clear picture. We are self-reflexive and do the work required to dismantle cisgender privilege and uplift black trans folk, especially black trans women who continue to be disproportionately impacted by trans antagonistic violence. We build a space that affirms black women and is free from sexism, misogyny, and environments in which men are centered. So now they're appealing to the women, but clearly they don't really care about women because women are quote unquote cisgender. They don't care about they care about women part of their community. But they do plan on using regular women to be their foot soldiers because they know men won't do it. So they need women to be the foot soldiers, to be the muscle. We practice empathy. We engage comrades with the intent to learn about and connect with their context. Again, we engage comrades. Comrades is a communist term. They're putting this stuff all in their mission statement, but black people don't like to read because black culture says you don't have to read. You just have to be black. So now black folks are still supporting this because they won't read. Now it's been removed though. But like I said earlier, I don't blame white people. I blame you all because white folks have never told you all not to read. In your lifetime, white people have never said, don't read. They never said that. And it's funny that after slavery, 2 years after slavery, the black slaves created Howard University. Now ask yourself, how in the world could some illiterate slaves create a college? Not attend college, create a college. So clearly somebody's lying, right? Okay. We make our spaces family friendly and enable parents to fully participate with their children. Notice they said parents. They're saying parents because they're not identifying with gender. This is not for straight people. So when they say parents, they don't mean for straight people. We dismantle the patriarchal practice that requires mothers to work double shifts so that they can mother in private, even as they participate in public justice works. So what they're talking about is single mothers. Now they want you to believe that single mothers are results of the patriarchy. Single mothers. So what they're basically saying is, if you're a single mother, it's the system's fault and you shouldn't have to work. Matter of fact, you should be able to go out there and work for us in what they said was public justice works. You should be able to go out there and do public justice work and then be able to come home and be with your family at night. Now, they said double shifts. So if they had you all out there protesting and fighting, that's all you're going to be doing is protesting. They would have y'all protesting from sun up to sundown. Y'all done went from the cotton fields to the streets of the urban city and they're going to have y'all rioting and looting. Flat screens, PS5s, bundles, and lace fronts. They're going to have you all rioting and looting, and that stuff isn't going to go to your house. It's going to go to them because the member eat the rich. So they're going to have you all stealing from the rich and giving to them while you stay poor. I know you all are thinking, Blanche, this is insane. There's no way this is going to happen. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen. And when it does happen, Black people are going to be cowards. I've seen enough to know this. Hopefully these lives and these videos can reach a few people and I can try to save some folks. But the majority of Black folks are going to yield to the LGBTQP, don't forget XYZ community. We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended family and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable. Notice there is no mention of a man. I'll read it one more time. We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable. So, in other words, they want to destroy the family structure. That means man, woman, and child. The Black family is primed for the picking because 33% of Black men are married and 27% of Black women are married. So that's a total of 30% of Black people are married. So Black people are on the fringe of falling completely apart. But don't worry, the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z community will be there to pick up the pieces. We foster a queer affirming network. When we gather, we do so with the intention of freeing ourselves from the tight grip of heteronormative thinking, or rather the belief that all in the world are heterosexual unless she/he or they disclose otherwise. What's funny about that is the vast majority of the world is heterosexual, over 95%. So what's not normal is actually being gay and trans and bi or non-binary, because the majority of the world is still heterosexual. So that's the norm. So what they're saying is we got to change 95% of the people to appease 5%. What does that sound like? Does that sound like equality? Does that sound like fairness? Does that sound like inclusion? That sounds like justice? No, that sounds like tyranny. It sounds like a takeover. We foster a queer affirming network. That means affirming queers means what? They must be acknowledged and they must be adhered to. You must affirm them. That means you must recognize them everywhere you go. All these flags that go up during Pride Month and LGBTQ History Month, which is this month, all them flags that go up, eventually all those flags are going to stay up forever. You're going to see those flags. You're going to see so much gay and trans stuff. You're going to be like, what in the world is going on? But guess what? You won't be able to say anything. We cultivate an intergenerational and communal network free from ageism. Pay attention. We cultivate an intergenerational and communal network free from ageism. So ageism doesn't just mean too old. Ageism also means too young. So what are they saying? What are they saying? If they're saying we're going to get rid of folks being too old and too young, what are they really saying? What they're really saying is we're going to accept pedophilia. What they're really saying is we're going to accept pedophilia. We're not going to say that a child can't be with an adult or an adult be with the child. This is BLM's mission statement. But when you tell black people this, they get mad at you. So what I tell black people is, then you're going to die. And I don't feel any way about it. You're going to die. Back in the day, like I said before, the first two mega cities in the Bible or on history were Sodom and Gomorrah. They were filled with black people and they were filled with homosexuals. The first two major cities in the world were Sodom and Gomorrah. They were filled with black people because white folks wasn't around, and they were filled with homosexuals. So that means the LGBTQ movement has been a thing since the beginning of the time, even in the scriptures. The Bible said that the city was so sinful with lust that it was glowing. Like I said the other day, when you look at these cities at nighttime, they're glowing. Cities are lit up. We cultivate an intergenerational and communal network free from ageism. We believe all people, regardless of age, show up with the capacity to lead and learn. So the Black Lives Matter Global Network, the movement, when they get towards the end of their mission statement, they're talking about the children. And they're talking about the children not only be able to be with adults, but also be able to work and lead. Again, this is what black folks support. And when you tell black folks what's going on, they get mad at you. So I tell them, then you're going to die. I don't make any point, you're going to die. We embody and practice justice, liberation, and peace in our engagements with one another. Now, listen, we embody and practice justice, liberation, and peace in our engagements with one another. Flip that statement. We don't embody or practice justice, liberation, and peace in our engagement with people that's not a part of our group. That's not a part of our group. So now you know in this last statement, they're going to be terrorizing you all. You see, they got to get rid of the white folks first, okay? Because white people aren't going to sit by and let the LGBTQs and BLM terrorize the black community. They're not going to do it. They're going to act against it because they know they're next. So they know they can't let you all get terrorized by them because they're next. So they're nipping in the bud with you all. But what you all are going to do is you all are going to be fighting against the white folks, trying to fight against them. I know you all. You all are going to be fighting the white folks that are fighting against them so that they can oppress you. It's a cold game. It's a cold game. But in a nutshell, this is what BLM stands for. It really stands for tyranny. It's communism. It's a dictatorship. It's everything bad for the black community. But black community opened this up or brought this on with open arms. Black folks brought this on with open arms. Even when BLM has been exposed, black people still support it. Black folks are more mad at Kanye West and Candace Owens than they are at Black Lives Matter. And Black Lives Matter said on here, we want to destroy what's left of the black family. We don't want any men around. We want the women that are straight, heterosexual women, we want y'all working for us. We want your children to be with adults. None of this stuff offends black people. None of this stuff offends black people because when I tell black people this, they're not offended. But if I show black people a picture of Candace Owens and Kanye West, they go into a frenzy. So I'll tell you what I'll tell them, you're going to die. You're going to die. Let's listen to Chad Jackson talk about the Democratic Party and the liberals. You must understand that the people that control the funding for the Democrats and control the funding for BLM. So BLM and the Democrats share the same finances. So that means when all that money was coming to BLM, it's going to the Democratic Party. The irony of black people following Black Lives Matter, or even the irony of Black Lives Matter being ran by a white Jewish man. But it's not really ironic because the civil rights movement was ran by the Jewish people. The NAACP is ran by Jewish people. All them black colleges is ran by Jewish people. You know what I come to think about it? Everything that black folks do, from the sports teams to the music to all that, acting, entertainment, all of it is controlled by the Jews. But y'all keep telling me it's black excellence, but I only see black excellence when a white person got their hand in it. I don't ever see black excellence on his own. But let's continue with Chad O. I got 5 minutes.
You the only black conservative who is always bringing up socialism?
That's actually a really good question. There are black conservatives who disagree with my methods. They disagree with the fact that I adamantly go after socialism and that I attach socialism to the Democrat Party, as well as many leftist individuals, many black liberals. I expose them for being socialists. Now, why do I do that? The reason I do that is because they are socialists. Many of them will admit as much. But the other reason is that there was a study conducted in 2019 that showed that 40% of black people favor capitalism, whereas 62% of black people favor socialism. Now,
My bad, y'all. I'm gonna continue on here. So listen, you all on Instagram. I'm gonna be going over to YouTube to close out. Somebody cut off right now. My time's up on Instagram. Sorry about that, YouTube. Okay, sorry about that, you all. So my bad. I see so many things you muted. Okay, my bad. I'm gonna repeat what I said. So basically, what I said in a nutshell was that most black people, according to this study, want to be socialists. Socialism is a nice way of saying communism. So most black people, the vast majority, 60%, want to be under communistic rule. Well, we all know that communism is very oppressive. And you can't point anywhere in the world right now where socialism has worked. But black people, again, listen to white liberals. Black people listen to white liberals, and white liberals tell them that this is what's best. And so I'm telling you all that that's going to be costly because BLM is saying under that communistic system, the trans are going to be in leadership. So now you got a communist that's a transgender. So you got to deal with two oppressive systems. Black people aren't ready for that. Black people aren't ready for that. They're not ready to be under communism and under the boot of the LGBTQP, don't forget XYZ community. They're not ready for it. They're not ready for it. So, but what he's saying is the study is that they're trying to pick it. So now you got a race because black people are going to have to compete with the immigrants, the Asians, the Indians, everybody, the Ukrainians, the Afghans. Like black people got to compete now. And so what black folks are saying is we want to be under socialism, but the problem is how you going to fare in that system if everybody else comes ahead of you? It's still no sound? You still can't hear? Someone said, do I ever talk about things besides disparaging the black community? Well, I'm going to say this, right? I'm going to say this. I've offered advice to the black community. I've lent my time, energy, money, services, everything to the black community. The black community has told me time and time again, they don't care. So I don't know what you want me to tell them if they're going to be in the way. Black folks are not going to sit on the side and no, black folks are going to be in the way. So that means when something happens in the country, if the folks want to invade America, black folks are going to get in the way. So my job is to get black folks out of the way. Y'all get out the way. That's my job, to get y'all to go sit down somewhere. Because black folks are going to be in the way. So I don't have any problem with the black community or trying to uplift it. But it's hard uplifting it when it's consumed with black culture. It's just almost impossible.
That is very interesting math because theoretically, when it comes to how black people vote, it should be 60-40, 60% Democrat, 40% Republican, if these numbers are true. But it's not. Black people vote 90+% for Democrats. And so what it comes down to is messaging. We have not communicated properly that the Democrat Party is a party of socialism. Because if we were, then we would be able to chip away at 23% of the Democrats' stronghold of the black community. 23%. If the Republicans were able to take away 23% of the black vote, the Democrat Party is done for. It just is. And so the messaging is key. Now think about it this way. The left has successfully been able to attach the stigma of racism and bigotry to the Republican Party, to conservatism. They have been successfully able to attach the pejorative of Uncle Tom to black conservatives. They have successfully done that because they run the narrative. They're not afraid to run the narrative. On the other hand, we as conservatives.
And so I tell people, is that everything you see out there is ran by liberals. Nothing is ran by conservatives. All the major corporations that are woke, they're liberal CEOs. Think about it. Everything you see is liberal. All people can tell you is Fox. Fox, 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 Fox. Everything else is liberal. So you mean to tell me you got one Fox and everything else is Democratic and liberal, and Fox is the problem? Doesn't make any sense. And all those news networks are owned by the same people anyway. Because when it came to the election, Fox was silent. So we already know they're working with the same people. But the problem is there is a great divide in the Black community. The problem is that Black men are waking up, because Black men are men and think more logically. So if Black men get information and truth, most of them, if they're not feminized, will make a logical choice. This stuff is really running rampant because of Black women. And I say because of Black women because Black women are the voice and the face behind all the stuff concerning Black America. It's the Black women leading it. So the problem is, think about it. Stacey Abrams said, if I don't win, it's because of black men didn't vote. Think about it. They don't care about Black men. They care about Black men doing something at the time. It's all these platforms of Black women bashing Black men like it's no tomorrow. But now they're all saying, even though we done bashed y'all, make sure you vote for Stacey Abrams. We don't care about y'all either. Stacey Abrams ain't even mentioned the men. She hasn't mentioned. She said, if you want to have an abortion, vote for me. If you want the LGBTQ community to rise, vote for me. If you want the immigrants to succeed, vote for me. So she's asking men to vote for everything that doesn't involve them. It's foolish. It's ridiculous. It's insane. It's insane. And that's right. And I'm going to say this too. People get mad, but she is a larger woman. She's overweight. I don't take her serious. I'm sorry. People get mad, they want to. I don't take you serious if you believe that your image doesn't matter as a politician. You mean to tell me you can be Black to the point where you can be unhealthy and it's still cool? No. It's the same way I feel about the homeless situation and about homelessness. Everybody tells me that the homeless got it so bad. And I said, well, if they got it so bad, why are they producing so much trash on the streets? Why are they pissing everywhere? You know, I ask these questions because I see things. I'm like, what's going on? Y'all are telling me the homeless people are the victims, but when I look on the street and at them, their behavior isn't victim-like. It's very parasitic. Homeless people will piss and defecate in areas that the people that give them money live. They'll come into your hallways and your elevators and your staircases and piss everywhere, and then have you step all through it to give them money. We keep saying mental illness and all this stuff, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that the majority of homeless people are mentally ill. I don't believe that at all. I know in this city, in Atlanta, they don't even want to go into the homeless shelters because it's a curfew. You got to go in and stay. So at night, they don't even want to go inside because they don't want to be stuck and confined to following what? Rules. In Atlanta, there's a food surplus. There is nobody hungry in Atlanta that's homeless. It's a food surplus city. They got plenty of food here to give to the so many programs. Homeless folks get fed around the clock in Atlanta. But my question is, what is all that doing? What is it creating? In California, they're spending billions of dollars. I don't know, was it 30 billion a year on homelessness? And it's increasing. How are y'all spending so much money to fight homelessness, but it's increasing? How are y'all doing so much for the homeless folks, but it's increasing? Y'all giving them phones. Y'all giving them money. Y'all giving them drugs to get off drugs. Y'all giving them tents. Y'all giving them places to wash up. So at the end of the day, these kind of policies destroy society because the homeless population does not contribute. At the end of the day, they don't contribute. All they do is take. And I know it sounds bad. I know it sounds horrible. You all can't hear me? There's a period where my voice is muted, but you should be able to hear me if you fast forward. But many people get upset at me when I talk about the homeless because I'm like, just observe their behavior. Their behavior isn't that of a victim. It's just not. They don't come to you asking, can they help? Think about it. The homeless people should be doing the most charity because they're only surviving out of the kindness of people's hearts. So why aren't homeless people the most charitable, giving their time and their energy and their efforts? They can't give money. Anytime they come to you, they're begging and wanting something. Meanwhile, they're throwing trash everywhere. The streets, with all these homeless folks on the streets, especially in these liberal cities, the streets should be spotless. The streets should be spotless. And I'm not saying that some homeless people are not victimized. I'm not saying that some homeless folks are not mentally ill. I'm saying the majority of homeless people are not that way. The majority of homeless people are opportunists. They're users. I was driving down the street in Atlanta on Piedmont. I was going down Ponce de Leon, and I made a right on Piedmont. And what I observed was just homeless people begging, which I just saw it. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Even when I go back home to California, it's horrible. All these homeless folks, and they're not contributing at all. Why are they not helping the area stay clean? Why are they not protecting the area? There should be no crime on the streets. With all these homeless folks on the street, there should be no crime. Them homeless folks could stand watch over all these neighborhoods and get paid to do it. These homeless folks could stand in front of businesses and protect them. These homeless people can contribute to society, but they don't. So now I know when adversity strikes, that's when your true character is revealed. So if a person experiences adversity and they start stealing and lying and conniving, that's who they really are. Thank you, Kelvin. He said, there's a homeless veteran near the exit near my home who cleans the entire off ramp. People would go out their way to give him. Thank you. Nobody has a problem with giving people that's doing something. Nobody. Nobody has a problem with giving, but somebody just begging, and I look down and you got trash everywhere, you pissing and defecating everywhere. The homeless people in California will literally camp out in front of these people's residences. The same folks that gave them money for years, they would inconvenience them. They're not good people. That's all. But because it's such an emotional issue, such a big virtue signal, you can't talk about it. Meanwhile, it's more and more homeless, but y'all do know in the apocalypse, they're top of the food chain, not y'all. So how nice do you think they're going to be in the apocalypse? Now, they've been on the streets this whole time surviving. You haven't. How do you think the homeless folks are going to be during the apocalypse when the lights cut off? They're going to be nice. They're going to give back. They're going to be charitable. They're going to look out for you. No, they're going to terrorize y'all. Nobody wants to say it. But yet, the Democrats and the liberals keep empowering us because they want chaos. This is what they want. They want the streets so overrun with homeless that you all beg the politicians for a solution. And that solution is you not having any more rights. It's going to get to that point. So get to that point. It's one big racket. They're spending billions upon billions in California to fight homelessness, and it's increasing. That is impossible. Somebody's lying. You mean tell me all these resources and people are becoming more and more homeless? Oh, I know why. Because the cost of living is going up, but the standard of living is going down. That's why. They giving folks checks for being trans. They get money for being a trans. They get money for being a single mother. They get money for being homeless. Look who you empowering. Trans, single mothers, and homeless. What do you think is going to happen if this thing flips over? That's right. The U.S. debt is $31 trillion under Joe Biden. But let's finish so I can be gone. I got to leave.
Conservatives are too afraid. We don't want to call them socialists, even though that's what they are, because we don't want to be accused of ad hominems, of calling names. It's not name calling if you're identifying what they actually are and what their worldview actually is. And so, yes, I am going to continue to expose socialism and socialists, and I'm going to do so unapologetically. If you enjoyed this video and want to see me answer more questions like this, as well as engage in the comment section, please subscribe to my IG page. That's anything apparently. And hey, I'm more than happy to participate. So if you want to become a subscriber, you want to ask questions, you want me to engage with those questions, if you want to have an actual dialogue, that's the place to do it. Until next time, thank you and God bless.
Yeah. Straight tracks. I think we.
All right, you all. Thank you all for tuning in today. The main point of this video was let you all know that the Black community has been taken over by the LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, Z community. And you all have yourselves to blame. That's just it, and that's all. You can say I'm disparaging the Black community, but I've offered plenty of advice. I've given remedies and solutions. But the problem is my solutions require character. There is no answer that doesn't require character. So if there's a problem, the only thing that will fix it is character. What you all are trying to do is fix problems without character. Is never going to work. It's never going to work. It's never going to work. So that's the issue with the Black community. It's not me. It's the fact that it's a lack of cultural character. And so for us moving forward, those that want to put up the good fight, I just say that we constantly, we just stay true to who we are. And we're uncompromising, we're unwavering. We have folks on here, Louisiana Sister Squad podcast. They're great with the truth. You just saw Chato. Pretty sure there's other folks on here that have a platform. But at the end of the day, all we can do is do what God calls us to do. All we can do is do what God calls us to do. But as far as the Black community, now is going to be the best time to leave, because leave now before you get into it, and it's going to be extremely compromising with the trans and the gays and the bis and the pans demanding something from you. My advice is that you all leave now. Stop being Black now, because I'm telling you now, when they get full control and hold of the Black community, it's going to be over. They're going to implement communism from a trans perspective. That's going to be bad. I love you all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I will be back probably on Friday, maybe. I don't know. Saturday, maybe Friday. Talk about submission and relationships and how, ladies, you all should not be entertaining yourselves with guys you are not willing to submit to. Anyway, I love you all. And for the men, you got to have something for the woman to submit to. It's both for men and women. But listen, I love you all. Thank y'all so much. All right.